Alrighty, what's up you guys? Once again to another Better Days original deck profile. As you can see, we're going to be talking about Gladiator Beast today.
そして発動中のグラディアルビーストと名の付くマジックトラップカードを無効にして永続魔法グラディアルビーストフォートとして扱うミルトゥースオブグラディアルビーストもメダリオンオブグラディアルビーストもグラディアルビーストフォートに
This is kind of like Zoo Gladiator Beast because we decided this is one of the better versions of the deck for the format. So there's a little bit of a Zoo package in here, and anything that has the Zoo package turns into Zoo plus whatever it is, I guess. So let's just get right into it. I do Gladiator Beast was actually probably the deck that got me into the game besides the Agents. It's about the time that I started playing, so it's got a special place in my heart, and that's it. Of course, we're going to be starting with the 3 Laquari. I think you have to play 3 Laquari. I mean, you can play 2 if you really want to, but this is like the one that you always want to start with, unless you have like Rescue Cat. I mean, it's still like the best starter, so you're usually never going to be summoning him off anything that tags out. Just because sitting on like a 2100 beater nowadays, it's just not that good. It's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's just not that good. So yeah, you want to start with Gladiator Beast Laquari or one of the other cards in the deck, basically. And then everything else you want to tag into because they actually have good tagging abilities. And speaking of, we're playing 2 Murmillo. One's pretty good too, but sometimes like you can double Murmillo and clear their board if like your Geysaris didn't clear their board, and then Rescue Cat him away or just anything else in general. I mean, you can even overlay him to make Invoker if you really want to. This is just really good because eventually, like if you're doing good, you'll have like 2 fusions out, and if you're still going, like tag them out, get out 2 Murmillo. You can play 1 Murmillo if you want to, but I like having 2 of them. And then 2 Darius. I don't think 3 is necessary. You can't even summon 3 like off of... Well, none of them tag out for 3, but I mean like 2 Darius fills the board. That's 2 special summons from the graveyard. So, and you don't want to open Darius because you want to usually tag into Darius. So that's why we're playing 2 of him. And then we're playing 2 Bestiari. I think 3 is a little overkill. I actually really like 1. I don't think you're going to have to worry too much about losing him. You play 2 just in case one of them gets banished because you need him for Geysaris, which is like the best fusion. So, and then I'm only playing 1 at Quest. You don't really need to cycle the War Chariots that hard. And there's really no other spell and traps that are going to be cycled by him that are good because you don't play anything else. And even if you play Gladiator's Proving Ground, which I don't play it in this deck, it's not a Gladiator Beast card, unfortunately. I don't know why they did that. Maybe because back in the day they thought it was too powerful for them to recycle a Rhoda, but yeah. And then the last Gladiator Beast we're playing is 2 Augustus. I did have 1 Noxious in here, and I'll kind of explain why I took him out later, but he was for like a cheeky kind of side engine of the deck. I like 2 Augustus. Nothing's once per turn in this deck, basically. So you can get 2 of him out, summon 2 things from your hand if your hand's clogged with GB's cards. Use him to summon Tamer. So Tamer needs 2 level 5 or higher Gladiator Beasts. So, all right. And then for the non-Gladiator Beast part of the deck, we're playing basically 4 Test Tigers. I don't play the 2 Rescue Cats because you don't want to see more than one of it. And you don't really need both Test Tigers, to be honest. So it's just a really good plus. It's similar to playing Rescue Rabbit. Usually in a deck with only 1 target for Rescue Rabbit, you're only playing 1 or 2 of it because you don't want to ever draw the next ones. Unless you can cycle back your cards with like Avarice or something if that's the game plan. But yeah, we're playing 1 Rescue Cat. It's the pre-errata effect in Better Days, so it's a lot better. Test Tiger actually can do stuff. And Test Tiger is just nasty for Gladiator Beast for obvious reasons. If you don't know what this card does, I'll probably put a little effect thing right here. But it literally tags them out, gets the engine going. It's just really good. And then we're playing a Max C because this deck can benefit off drawing cards. It really likes having options if their things get negated. As I was talking to Michael, it's one of the decks where your opening hand is just kind of how it is, and you can't really do anything to change it unless you play Respite, kind of. So Max C helps fix dead hands, especially if you're going second, which Gladiator Beasts like to do anyways. And then here's the Zoo package. We're playing the obvious Rat Pier and Whiptail. And then we're doing the extended with the Invoker. Just, it's really good for Gladiator Beasts to get free interaction, and this is basically the free interaction, so really good on that. And then we're also playing Triple Prisma. It's really good opening up Prisma and Test Tiger because it sets up Darius. Yeah, you literally open him, you go send Bestiary to Graveyard, and then you Test Tiger into Darius, and then that's Geysaris right there. So really, really good getting Geysaris before the battle phase. And that's going to be it for the monsters for the main deck. It's a bit monster heavy, but it's not like insane. Well, it's a bit monster heavy. It's probably like around 25 or something. It's 28. It's 28 monsters. So it's pretty heavy. I'll take back what I said. And then we're playing the obvious 3 War Chariot. This is the only trap in the deck. There's another version we were talking about where it's like kind of like a Card of Demise Gladiator Beast where you play a really heavy trap lineup. So something to consider. And for the spells, we're playing the 2 Respite. I think 3 is just a little overkill. You kind of want to Respite once and not draw into the other one, really. Unless you gain massive hand advantage from Maxi. Which, even 2 or 3 cards from Maxi can be massive hand advantage. So, we're playing the Triple Fusion. It just helps the deck out. It's a rank 3 deck. Or, rank 4 deck, sorry. So, Norden is obviously pretty good. And then we're playing the Tanky to search out our Zoodiac cards. Basically, I mean, you can search out Liquore or Darius if you want, but that's usually not going to be the case. And we're also playing Tensu in case we make our Tiger King. And the 1 Barrage to get rid of like the Tanky or the Tensu when you're on like turn 2 or 3, because Tensu is only really good for 1 or 2 turns, so. And of course, the 1 Soul Charge. Good in any deck that likes to pull out XYZs or has synchros that are going to be in the grave. It's Soul Charge. That's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. There's a few different directions you could take Gladiator Beast. One is a heavy trap lineup. I don't recommend Fire Fist G Beasts like the good old days where you play like a couple bear and maybe a gorilla. It's just not that good. So let's get into the extra deck. Of course, we're playing 2 Geysaris. You could play 3 if you want, but it's not really necessary. And with the Zoodiac package, the extra deck space kind of gets a little tight. So 2 Geysaris is actually really good. They always get cycled back into the extra deck. And then we're playing 1 Andabada, and he's just going to be summoned off of Tamer, basically. And then, so you go Tamer, Andabada, and then he can summon Geysaris. And we're playing 1 Herc too, just because I feel like you have to play him. I mean, sometimes you end up getting like 4 GBs on the board, and you're like, oh, why don't I just Heraclinos? And then you have like a War Chariot in your back row. So you basically have like an Omni Negate. And for the last fusion, we're playing 1 Norden. We were playing a Seraph Knight, but I'll explain that after. You could cut instant fusion down to 2 if you want to, if you don't want to draw any more than 1, which might be a move. And then you can play whatever else, maybe a Proving Grounds, I don't know. All right, and now into the extra deck. This is the typical zoo package. There's really not much else to say. It's just interaction for Gladiator Beasts, which is pretty good. They don't really need to pop their own things, but Trident's just a good card. And then we're going into Tiger King for our second rank 4. This helps search the Tensu, gets you a double summon 2 GBs. Hopefully that does something for you. And then we're just kind of playing a few spot removal cards in the extra deck. These are always just the classically good ones. If you got nothing else to go on, and then just some good Norden plays, shuffle in the monster, take their special summon guy. You get the picture. It's Gladiator Beast. That was the deck profile. I want to talk about the other thing briefly that I kept mentioning, and that's playing a Seraph Knight for a double summon. Ooh, excuse me. And then you play a Noxious to overlay, and then you can go into like Durundle, and you can have them pop like your Tanky or your Tensu or like even your set War Chariot if it's I think it does it's a monster or spell trap. So if you have a War Chariot and then they activate like maybe a Dark Hole, I don't know, and then you can pop your War Chariot. So this was an option. You can get the instant fusion most games, especially if you Respite. And then Noxious you can always summon whenever. And it's something to do with your Seraph Knight. Not too bad. You could obviously play any of the other ranks, but Gladiator Beasts typically like to sit on like the negate stuff at the end of their turn. With Herc, War Chariot, you used to play Fiendish Chain, all kinds of good stuff. Alrighty, and that was the deck, you guys. Let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. It is, we did kind of rate this somewhere in the, lower 50% of Rogue. It's just kind of how it is. In Extended, I think it gets a bit better. It might even touch tier 3. Claudius is a really good card, and then we also get the Dominitarius, I think his name is. He's the guy that negates stuff also. So really good stuff going on for GBs, and then they get like Test Bear, so decent stuff coming in Expanded. So thank you so much again. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.